So go, please.
Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody to this workshop presentation. My name is Alessandra Valmadre, and I'm going to introduce to you our work. So as you can see, the workshop is called Co-Creating a Niche Mountain Destination Through the Web, the case of Val Tartano. In the next slide, you can see all the people who took part in the work. So the 9 students, the 2 responsible professors, and the stakeholders who demonstrated an interest in our work. In the next slide, you can see the 9 areas into which the presentation is declined. I'm going to start talking to you about this workshop, which is coded PMTS03. So this is one of the workshops that the Planning and Management of Tourism System Master's Degree course at the University of Bergamo organizes each year for the second-year students. It was designed and supervised by Professor Roberto Peretta, and it focused on the optimization of the website Explore Val Tartano, which you can see on the right, which was created for Val Tartano in the province of Sondrio during last year's workshop. One of the other aims was its potential publication, but we're still discussing about it. So the workshop started at the end of February, and it's going to end during May 2020. It had to be moved online because of the spread of the coronavirus after only one face-to-face meeting. So we had to use a variety of online platforms and means to carry out meetings and decision-making processes, and also to connect with stakeholders. We used, for example, Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Form, and then we exchanged emails, etc. The main topics of the workshop were the interviews with some of the valley inhabitants who play an official role in it, such as alpine guides, hoteliers, local experts, etc. Then the Google Alerts analysis, technical enhancements of the website, ski mountaineering, and the experience of the crossing of Ponte nel Cielo, which you can see on the left of your screen. Since, as I said, the publication of the website is still being discussed, the materials that we produced are to be found in a Google Drive folder and on a YouTube channel called Team Val Tartano UniBg that you can see on the right of your screen. At the end of the meeting, if you want, we can have a look at some of the videos that we produced. So we've left a link to the YouTube channel. Now I'm going to leave Vera talk about the Valley and Google Alerts analysis.
Thanks, Alessandra.
No
Very
problem.
well done.
No problem.
Just a very short introduction. Alessandra is a bit of a recent addition to the workshop because she asked to be admitted as an official participant, living not far from Val Tartano.
Exactly.
And so, okay, just to tell you now.
Yeah, thank you.
Vera?
Yes. Okay, can I start?
Of course you can. You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, I will start
Vera,
with the
sorry,
Google.
could you please switch on your camera because it's good to see your faces while you're talking.
Well, Vera is usually very shy because there's more people around her while she talks. But
No, I think it's better, Vera, to,
yeah,
to
it's
watch
nice
your
to see
face
her.
while you're talking. It's better.
Actually,
Switch off while you're talking.
I'm using my phone, but the camera is still
No,
on.
we can see you very well. Don't worry.
Okay. I'll talk about the Valley and the Google and the alert analysis, which was distributed among all of us for us to analyze. And then when we were analyzing the Google alert, we focused on the most important topics, which were the ponti nel cielo, the sport, excursions, accommodation, infrastructure, local events, maps, nature, and food tourism. And then from our analysis from graph 1, we summarized that 57% of the people who visit Val Tartano were interested in tourism activities, and 12% were pages not found, and 2% were which was related to social media platforms. And then from graph 2, we can deduce that tourism-related activities were the most relevant in Val Tartano, and that the most important activity relating to tourism activity was relating to Ponte nel Cielo, followed by the Valley, followed by sports activities, and then sport activities. Can you please change the slide?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. And then the reason why people visit the Ponte, that is the Valley, were because it gives people an inner feeling, and it gives them an emotional feeling, and it gives them a beautiful view of the Valley. And then people visit with their family because tickets are free for children below 6 years. And then the next activity relating to Val Tartano is sports. And then sport activities are organized throughout the year in summer and winter, so that nobody is left out. The sport activities are generally organized in competitions, which brings a lot of people to the Valley. And then because Val Tartano is rich in history and natural environment, people who visit there feel connected to nature once they are there. These visits are mostly organized in the form of excursions, which are organized throughout the year. And then some of the places people visit are the Laghi di Pocello, which consists of 3 groups of lakes, which 3 groups of lakes, and the lake contains water from the rain and groundwater from the melting snow. We have ethnographic museum of wood, which exhibits things which have disappeared from our everyday lives. Orobio Botanical Garden is surrounded by natural settings like forests and like rivers. Cima della Cadelli, which is located between Passo Pocelli and Passo Pordeni. On top of it is a statue of the Achenel Gabrieli, erected in memory of the victims of 1987 Bartalena flood. And then the main source of accommodation available to tourists are Arbego La Gran Beita, Arbego Ristorante Pizzeria Miralago, and Arbero Ristorante Balunga. But only Arbero La Grande, can you, okay, thanks. Arbero La Gran Beita and Arbero Ristorante offers free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free breakfast for visitors. And then maps are also given to tourists at various information centers, like when you get to Chiavenna, Morbino, Sandro, Tirano, and Bormio. People who get there are given maps, and these maps contain information like ski and other skiing activities, information about the mountains, where to park, rent a bicycle, park your bike, where people can walk, rest, and eat. And can you, okay, thanks. And then food activities. Local events are organized in the form of food tourism. These events usually takes place in autumn and on weekends. The event offers visitors the chance to discover their traditions, meet local products and taste their food products. Some of these local exhibitions are Bito exhibition, which involves street food tasting, Morbino in Katina, which offers visitors to taste traditional food and wine. The Light of Polenta offers the chance to taste a variety of food made with polenta. Gusto Sando in Valtellina showcase food and wine in traditional towns and villages.
Oh, that's me. Very quickly, because most have been already detailed in the meantime. So please, Andrea, just go ahead. Only thing that you can notice more that Facebook was also another interesting, useful tool, meaning that because Facebook was not detailed in the beginning of this presentation, but actually private groups through Facebook was a way to keep in touch and discuss in a day-by-day basis. Also, I'm sure that all the other participants had another connection, which is a WhatsApp group, of course, of which, of course, I didn't take part because it was something for day-by-day connection among the participants only. I only have to mention that piece of paper, an article was published in the meantime from out of the blue, because it was simply a journalist who came across some news about the workshop and interviewed one of the participants, and the workshop produced also an interesting discussion following this paper presentation on the workshop. I think that's all. Sorry for taking your time myself. Who's going to talk about storytelling?
Me, I'm going to talk about the storytelling. Hi, everyone. I'm Francesca, and I will introduce you to our storytelling part of the workshop, which I worked together with Giusy and Laura. So the aim of this part was to provide interviews with groups of local people who live or have a strong connection to Val Tartano, because some of the people we actually interviewed are not living in Val Tartano, but they go there for holidays or to work. But this part was supposed to be the most narrative part of our workshop and one of the most creative. So we started with the idea. Well, we identified a group of 5-6 people we wanted to contact and to interview, and then for each one of them, we decided to ask the same question at the beginning. So, what's their favorite place in Val Tartano, or what's the connection they have and why do they have it? And then we thought about specific questions related to their job or to the type of relationship they actually had with the valet. Andrea, can you please change the slide? Thank you. So I interviewed Monica Berlascini. She's the owner of the Hotel Miralago, which is the hotel that it's right in front of the Ponte nel Cielo. So it has a very strategic location, though of course the hotel was born before, way before the Ponte nel Cielo. So my interview with Monica focused on the history of the hotel, which she and her brothers inherited from her grandfather. And then she discussed the type of tourists that stay overnight at her hotel and why these tourists decide to sleep in campo instead of just going for a day trip and just walk the bridge and then leave. Then she explained all the services that they have in the hotel, because they have quite a lot of services, and they provide also tours for their guests. And then I asked her about the current situation related to COVID-19 and how they are coping and what she expects for the future. And she was actually very positive, and it was very nice to listen to what she had to say. But the results I got from her interview were that the Ponte nel Cielo is it's not the main attraction of Val Tartano. So for her, the natural beauty of the valley is what really captures tourists once they arrive to walk the bridge, and then they arrive at the hotel even just for a coffee or something, because there's a cafe in the hotel, and they usually tell her, wow, this place is beautiful and I will come back to walk this path or this or the other one. It's not just the Ponte nel Cielo, Val Tartano, it's much more. And Andrea, thank you. The same idea, we got it from Davide Spini, who is an alpine guide, and I did this interview. I carried out this interview together with Alessandra and Stefano, because they took care of the ski mountaineering part of the workshop. And we asked him about his job and, of course, his relationship with the valley, because he does not live in Val Tartano, but he goes there very often for his job, and his grandparents were from there. And then we were particularly interested in knowing the best ski mountaineering path, and the ones he walks or he takes people more often to. And as said before, he said basically the same thing that Monica said to me, so that the nature is really the strong point in Val Tartano. And now Giusy will introduce her interviews.
Yes. I'm Giusy, good morning, and I interviewed Clara Spini, who was a student of this master course, and the person who gave the idea of, who started the idea of this workshop. So the interview with Clara Spini was made through a phone call, and it focused on her relationship with Val Tartano and her childhood memories. Also, her opinions about the construction of the Ponte nel Cielo and the other points of interest of the valley. And what came out during this interview was also the presence beyond of the main bridge of other bridges, so the interesting path of the bridges. And what came out from this interview is the importance of preserving and valorizing the natural beauty of the valley. And it's the same message that we try to enhance through a video, Voci dalla Val Tartano, which was made and it's available on YouTube.
Sorry, Giusy, I don't want to interrupt you, but can we see right now one of the videos, or is it an unwelcome interruption?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
I mean, since you are describing how you managed to produce these videos, I was wondering whether we can see one of these videos right now during the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, there are the links at the end of the presentation.
You want to see one now?
Now or? No.
As you like, but I guess that people who simply don't know about our work, don't have any idea of what in any of these videos looks like. So if there is a short one to be seen right now, then we go on and Juicy can
Yeah, sure.
regain her intervention.
But sorry, I have to share also the just a
If you want Andrea
Yes.
to start the video about Clara, I
Yes,
think.
just I have to share the.
Thank you.
Sorry for making you wait.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Because I have to share also the.
You have to stop sharing your presentation and opening YouTube or whatever. If it's not too difficult, I mean, if it's a bit of a problem, just go ahead.
No, because there is an option, but I don't remember how to share.
Maybe going
Okay.
from
Yes, okay.
you manage. Okay.
Perfect. Then tell me if you see it.
Yeah.
I guess we
Yeah.
can, okay.
Yes.
It takes a bit to be actually downloaded and made available.
Tutto mi ricorda casa. Da sempre quando
No. I think it's because it's in streaming.
d'estate vado a Tartano, non uso più le scarpe. Volevo sempre andare a piedi nudi in giro ovunque. Cosa particolare della che è divisa in contrade, questi gruppi di abitazione anche proprio all'interno del paese. Arrivi a Tartano e la valle si divide in due valli più strette, diciamo, una si chiama Val Corta, l'altra si chiama Val Lunga, e anche in queste due ulteriori valli ci sono tot agglomerati di case, ognuna con il proprio nome. L'integrità del territorio è un punto a favore per un turismo comunque di nicchia. Il sentiero dei ponti è un sentiero molto bello durante questo percorso che dura circa 2 ore e mezza. Vai a fare tutti i ponti della valle, parti dal ponte nel cielo e poi fai una serie di ponti anche abbastanza antichi, anche perché passi appunto da alcune contrade più in alto rispetto alle altre. Delle costruzioni e ci arrivi solo a piedi, se sei in montagna piena, solo sentieri, quindi è molto bello.
Thanks, Andrea.
You're welcome. Now I will go back to.
It was simply to make clear to people who are listening to your description actually the products you developed, which I think it's very high quality. It's very interesting. Congratulations for what you did.
Molto
so,
bravi.
Giusy, go ahead.
Thank you.
Sorry for interruption.
Yeah. Just wait for the sharing of screen.
Yeah.
You see the slides? No.
Do you see them? Because I
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
We see YouTube.
Okay, now I know what to do. This one.
Stop sharing and choose. Okay, great.
Okay.
Andrea is a perfect disc jockey, I see.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the other interview was made to Giorgio Spini, who is the father of Clara Spini, and it focused. It was made in a written way. So he answered my questions by email, And it focused on his relationship with the valley and his memories, the change of the valley over time. So the change from the transition from an agricultural society to an industrial one, and the historical events and tradition of the society in the valley. And one of his main research on the blockbau technique, which is the characteristic of the buildings that you can find in Val Tartano, and the Alta Via project that he made in cooperation with Pier Giorgio Spini. What came out from this interview is that he showed a strong attachment to the place, and he underlined the need for an awareness by the community and the institution of the territorial, environmental, and historical heritage of the valley. So now Laura will talk about her interview to Pier Giorgio Spini.
Go ahead, Laura.
Okay, thank you. I'm Laura, and I took care of the interview to Pier Giorgio Spini, who is the husband of Monica Barlascini, so he also works at the Mirarago Hotel. And he is a friend of Giorgio Spini, and they collaborated in the creation of the Alta Via pathway, which is a 43-kilometer trail which goes around the valley. So my interview with him, he actually was very kind. I sent him some questions, and he filmed himself while answering them against the beautiful background of Val Tartano. He actually has a beautiful view from his home. And the questions were about the creation process of the Alta Via pathway, some hidden gems in Val Tartano, the evolution of tourism in the valley before and after the construction of the Ponte nel Cielo, and also an opinion on the future of tourism in Val Tartano after the COVID-19 pandemic. So this interview resulted into 4 short videos, one for each topic, and I added English subtitles to them, and I uploaded them on the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So now
Andrea, sorry, can I just add something about my 2 interviews, because I forgot to say.
Yes.
That for the one with Monica Barlascini, she answered to my questions with a WhatsApp voice message that I edited, and I'm making a video of it. I had some problems in using the video making program, and my first attempt to make the video was not successful. So I'm about to finish the video, so it will be available on our YouTube channel in a couple of days maximum. And
Thanks, Francesca.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sorry, Andrea.
No, don't worry. Thank you. I am Andrea, and I'm going to present you the part related to the website, which has been created last year from our colleagues in the last year workshop, as my colleagues mentioned before. The first impression of this website is that it is really well designed and eye-catchy, but its main strength point is that it is easy to navigate. And its logo is as well impressive because it's suggestive, and I don't know if you see it, but it's Explore Val Tartano, and it links to the mountains and to trekking activities, and I think it's also easy to remember this logo, and as well easy to search on Google. But the only lacking of this homepage is that there is no reference to the location of Val Tartano. Then we have we have created this animated GIF, which starts from Italy in its entirety, and then zooms till Val Tartano territory. We have also provided some detailed suggestions for optimization of the website, and one of them is to give more visibility to ski mountaineering activities, because it's the second reason why people come to Val Tartano. and it will be necessary to provide also a network of the valleys because Val Tartano is made of many valleys like Val Lunga, Val Corta, Val di Lemme, and it will be interesting for visitors to have also the cultural and natural information related to them, and so provide a section of flora and fauna which exist there, and for instance suggest to visitors to use and download some apps when they arrive in the destination, like PlantNet, which allows the users to know exactly which is the name of the plant by taking a photo with the smartphone, or provide the visitors a list of the best hotspots where to take a picture of this beautiful place. And obviously we have a thing that it will be necessary to provide also a section called the Voci della Val Tartano, where to collect all the materials and all the opinion coming from the local voice, to let them speak about their territory as they prefer. Then it is important to provide the reference of these sources and provide and choose a license for this website, because if the purpose of this website will become commercial, then it will be necessary to provide a copyright license. Other more suggestions were to provide a weather or in climate information, because for the visitors who want to plan in advance a visit to Val Tartano, or to provide the booking service for I don't know, each both for accommodation but also for the other activities like sport activities and guided tours, but in the case of there is not possible to provide the booking service, then it will be necessary to provide at least links or direct contacts like emails or phone number. Then we have also think to create a social media network, because it will enhance the visibility of the website. And if the visitors will become international, that will be necessary to provide also an English version of the website. And of course, having a website needs constant work and updating, because it's something that has to last forever, or at least for a longer period.
Forever.
And this is an example of the social network media, because we have seen that if you provide many materials on different social networks, then the website will have more visibility and will be easy to find on the web. I will let my colleagues speak about the Tibetan Bridge.
Hi, I'm Valentina, and with Marta we are going to talk about the Tibetan Bridge. The name of the bridge is Ponte nel Cielo, and it represents, as my colleagues already pointed out, one of the main motivations to visit Val Tartano. We were not just interested in knowing more about the experience itself of the bridge, but we also wanted to know how it is connected with the surrounding. So we start analyzing its web presence, looking at Instagram and Facebook posts, and also on the reviews that are present on TripAdvisor. From the information we collected, we created a few questions to be used in our qualitative interviews with a couple of visitors that had the possibility to experience the bridge and the valley itself. And from the answer we got, we create a questionnaire that has been spread across Facebook groups, and also thanks to Professor Burini through our university channels. And on the 27th of March, we collected about 40 answers that we are going to describe in the following slides. For the 72% of visitors, the Ponte nel Cielo still represent the main motivation to visit the valley. And it is mainly a family destination. but also, as you can see in graph 3, also group of friends or people with their partners are very willing to visit the valley and the bridge. The most effective tools used, as long as social and TripAdvisor reviews to know the bridge, was through word of mouth. And the majority of people reach the place by car without difficulties in finding a car park. From the majority of people, the experience itself was perceived as something in between peaceful, euphoric, but also a bit of anxiety and fear while crossing the bridge, of course. And on our questionnaire, we were also interested in know about the opinion of people about the price and the payment methods. The price was perceived quite fair for the attraction itself, and the majority of people bought the ticket on site rather than online. Another topic covered by the questionnaire were the activities and services related with the bridge, and we asked people to evaluate them, and we wanted also to know which were the most used ones. And for the 40% of the people who answer our questionnaire, they said that the bar by the bridge was the most important thing used by them during the visit. Then 22% of them use restaurants, and only 12.5% use an accommodation service. The second part of the data will be described by Marta.
Thanks, Valentina. Good morning, everyone. Now I'll show you the second part of our questionnaire. We also inquired the way interviewees got information about the place and the services. They respond that it was easy to find information about these services and the place. Then we inquired the staff of the bridge, so how visitors considered it. Almost everyone find the staff helpful, with one responded that did not consider it helpful, so it is not satisfied. But the overall result is positive anyway. Then we inquired the safety of the bridge. That is an important part of the experience, very important. The safety is considered by 67.5% very good. The 25% considered it good, and only the 7.5% considered it quite good. We measured the safety of the bridge through a scale rating from 1 to 5, where 1 is the worst result, while 5 is the best one. So we are satisfied also by this result. Then we have a set of questions concerning the official web pages of the bridge on the web and its web presence as far as social networks are concerned. It comes out that the 67.5% of interviewees visited the official website of the bridge, and the presence of it is considered mainly good, while Instagram and Facebook pages are not considered by visitors. I mean, less than 50% of them visited them on social network, and their presence is not so good. In conclusion, from our questionnaire, we are satisfied. The visitors are satisfied with bridge experience. They are always satisfied and enthusiastic about this experience. But the web presence is to be enhanced. On the next slide, we have some consideration of interviewees about post-coronavirus situation. We gather some thoughts of visitors or locals about this experience in the future. And we have different thoughts that differ from each other in the sense that someone said that this experience has nothing to do with the virus, so it doesn't change the situation, while others have fear of the loss of visitors in that area. In general terms, we observe that measures will be adopted to keep social distancing and to ensure the experience even after this pandemic situation. Now it's up to Stefano to talk about sky mountaineering.
Okay. Yeah. Sky mountaineering is one of the most important activities related to the valley, and we can define it as a combination of alpinism and a downhill ski. And its popularity in the valley has been increased thanks to the ski club SC Val Tartano. We can say that during seasons where there's a lot of snow, then people can start practicing the sport. The season can start from December and it can last till spring. Among the most important, most famous popular locations, let's say, we can mention where skiers go. We can mention Cima di Lemma, Cima della Vallunga, Passo dei Lupi, Passo Tartano. With the highest and the highest peak of the valley is the Monte Celeron summit, called Piz Linera. I don't know how to pronounce it, which is about 2,590 meters, and a lot of skiers come from Milan and Lecco up beside the valley, and so all this we got all these informations thanks to the interviews we had with the alpine guides, like as Francesca already mentioned, like Davide Spini, but also Davide Codega. And then we had the possibility to interview also Giovanni Tacchini of SC Val Tartano. And SC Val Tartano is the official ski club, which has been officially founded in 1984, but unofficially it exists since 50 years. And they organize every year ski mountaineering competitions in winter and running races in the summer. Around more than 100 people are affiliated with the club. And when we talk about the target, so we have to make a distinction between the professional world and the amateurs world. So among the pros, there's among the pros, it's like the target is divided between composed by 85% of male and 15% of female, while among the amateurs there's more balance, so we have 40% female and 60% male, and the participants come from the valley and places in the nearby such as Morbegno and Colico. And we also uploaded a questionnaire on the some Facebook groups, some about Val Tartano and some others about ski mountaineering in Italy. We had good feedback. A lot of people actually answered, so it was good. And yeah, these people mentioned the love for nature and sport as the main reason why they decided to take on this sport. But also, some other mentioned the fact that this started also as a family activity. Like for example, I think Davide Spini started because Giovanni Tacchini started because because his father used to take him to the mountains. Also, freedom, fun, and wellness are the main sensations that most skiers feel while they are on the slopes. They usually, if we have to talk about the main characteristics of the target, we can say that they are people looking for adventure, adrenaline, and freedom. Based on the answers we had, we can say that people generally like to practice this sport with people. So it can be seen, as I said, as a family activity, but also as an activity that you can share with friends. Only a small percentage of people declare that they prefer to do it alone. And Val Tartano is highly rated in terms of quality because even though most of the participants to the questionnaires were not locals, they defined the paths of the valley as the majority defined them as excellent or perfect, and the huge percentage, like 97% of them, declared that they would suggest, they would recommend the valley to their fellow skiers, even though they are not from the valley. So we can say that the valley is highly considered by the ski mountaineering world. And now we leave the words to Laura.
Yes, the last section is about the COVID-19 pandemic, which had undoubtedly to be taken into consideration during our research, since it had an impact not only on the way in which the workshop was carried out, completely in a digital way, but also on the present and future of tourism in Val Tartano. As we all know, sadly, Lombardy was the most dramatically affected region of Italy, and this led the government to decide for the closing of schools and universities from the 24th of February, and then on a total lockdown from the 8th of March until the 4th of May. We asked for some opinions about the COVID-19 pandemic in some of our interviews, namely the ones to Pier Giorgio Spini and his wife.
Can you raise your voice a bit? Speak louder. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
We inquired about the opinions of some stakeholders about the COVID-19 emergency and about how tourism in Val Tartano will recover after it. Luckily, no cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in the valley up to yesterday, but the tourism sector was inevitably affected by it. But as we already mentioned, people from there are quite positive about this, and they are confident that the tourism sector will restart eventually, if not in the summer season, then later. And hopefully once the emergency is over, tourists will go back to Val Tartano to enjoy the breathtaking views, to take long walks and breathe some fresh air. And finally, we also inquired about the pandemic in the Google form survey, which my colleagues have already talked about. And 2 out of 30 questions were about it. The first one was open-ended. So they asked, how do you imagine the experience about Ponte nel Cielo after the COVID-19 pandemic? And most answers agreed that the experience will not change drastically, since an attraction like the Ponte nel Cielo is rather easy to be controlled and to put into effect some safety measures like the health checks and controlled entrances to the bridge. On the other hand, some answers claim that the tourism flows will probably decrease, partly because of the initial reluctance to travel, and a niche destination like Val Tartano will have more difficulties and will take even longer to regain momentum. And the second question was a yes/no question. So would you visit again the Ponte nel Cielo after the coronavirus emergency? Luckily, 75% voted yes, and only 25% voted no. And now on to the conclusions. I will leave the floor to Giusy.
Yes, thank you, Laura. So in conclusion, during this workshop, we had the opportunity to understand how a site inspection and the local participation are crucial to better promote a tourist destination. And because of the pandemic emergence, we couldn't reach the place, and we couldn't meet the people who live and work there in the valley. And in this context, the use of technology partially filled this gap. So we used technology to make research about a valley through the Google Earth analysis, or to see photos and videos. For example, thanks to the Facebook group Amici della Val Tartano, or to meet virtually people, so using video calls, emails, and so on, and also to collect information and opinions about the valley, the main attraction of the bridge, through the two questionnaires that we made. So technology was the tool, a useful tool that shortened distances between us and the place and people of Val Tartano. And it can be defined as the bridge that our bridge in this co-creation process. So we call it co-creation because the participation of local people and local stakeholders in our workshop was fundamental. And so from this co-creation, we learned that the Val Tartano cannot be reduced to simply to the bridge in the sky, to the Ponte nel Cielo, but the whole territory should be enhanced enough. So future research, the next slide. Future research should include, can you hear me? Oh, okay, sorry.
You can still talk about your future research.
Yeah,
certainly.
future research should include the individuation and valorization of other points of interest beyond the bridge. So mountain trails, natural paths, lakes, and so on. Also, can go ahead? Can you see the slide?
I don't have the next slide, sorry.
Oh.
I don't know why. Just I have a check.
Don't worry, we don't need them. You can
okay.
You are following your...
Okay.
Yeah, but okay, I have it now. Sorry, I don't know why it doesn't work.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we are.
Okay, so also the promotion of a specific target of tourists is important. So the individuation of conscious tourist, of tourist who is, for example, a nature lover or a ski mountaineering practitioner. And so it's important to promote a sustainable and conscious tourism, respectful of the environment and also of residents, so local people. Another point is the strict cooperation of local stakeholders and residents. So it's important to use a participative approach. And last but not least, the promotion of the intangible heritage. So the stories, the oral tradition are also a heritage that should be promoted and valorized, as Giorgio Spini with his interview showed us. So that's it, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your attention. Yeah, thank you very much. Do you want to stop sharing?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, questions. For instance, I could tell as a sort of creative of myself. Co-creation happened to be basically among the workshop and the people on locals. It was impossible in this phase producing co-created new products with actual tourists, because that was really impossible. So in a way, among the future research could be about actual co-creation of new tourist products. And for instance, the very interesting Alta Via across the divide of the valley, which could be something producing new products, well, actual implementation of products. It's, I'm sorry, basically, I just want to say that co-creation can be used to describe the workshop, but it was impossible to use co-creation in producing new tourism products, which was the initial task of the workshop 2 years ago. Any questions?
Roberto, can I intervene, because I have a meeting that I have to follow?
You're very welcome to,
Okay,
to say anything you like. But
first of all, I thank Roberto to invite me today. I really appreciate it, Roberto, because I think that it's very good to share the experience that our students are doing, and it's an instrument for me to see how we work as a group of teachers. So for me, it's very important, both because I'm interested and both for my role of connecting and making all of us in the teaching staff working together with common plans and common objectives. So thank you very much. I think that this group made a very good job. First of all, because you demonstrated to have acquired many disciplinary competencies that you put together. So I heard about the use of some concepts that you did in my courses, for example, but I also heard many things that you learned in other courses. And so I think this is very precious to demonstrate that at the end of your second year, you are able to mix your competencies. This is our objectives. And so I'm very happy to see that you are able to do it. So you are building your professional competence to face problems of a territory, to analyze the context, the territorial context, to identify and, Giusy, not individualize. Don't say individuation. Where is Giusy? Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Identifying is better.
Identify, yeah.
So I think that from the point of view of the main teaching objectives, this workshop demonstrates that you got them. And so I'm very, very happy to see this because you are, how can I say, you are mature in the analysis. It's a very good analysis. Maybe because you were helped by Professor Peretta, maybe because some other students before you analyzed this area. So there are some points that could be in favor of this maturity, but I think that you are able to add other points, other positive points to the analysis. And so this is very good. And you are continuing what Clara Spini promoted before. So I'm very happy really about these competencies. The second thing is that you are recalling many times the theme of participation, of networking, virtual networking, real networking, which are so important today, especially after COVID-19 crisis. So, and you also analyze the impacts of COVID-19 crisis. So I'm very happy also because you are in the moment. You have understood that that we are entering a new phase of tourism planning and management, that we cannot go back, and that you can use the things that you have learned during these 2 years to do the difference for our territories. So sometimes my students say, oh my God, what do we do now after COVID? Tourism we have a crisis. I choose the wrong master course. No, you choose the right one, because it's your competencies that we need now. It's so important that you can apply these competencies to make tourism different in the future. So really, I'm very happy. And as Professor Peretta said before, you also demonstrate you use different kinds of products, videos, surveys, PowerPoint presentations. So I think that your presentation is very high standard and very complete, and as we say, in a holistic perspective, as I like it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Luisa, any observations from another university which we closely cooperate with? I shall unmute you.
Okay. So thank you for inviting me. This is the first thing to say. I was impressed by the job. So you did a very good job, I think. I agree with Federica. I think you are now more skilled to address future problems, future projects in also an interdisciplinary way. That's very important. So technology are part of the solutions, as you've seen. So people are also important.
Roberto, io mi scuso, ma devo proprio correre. Cioè non corro, sto, ma devo spostarmi. Arrivederci, grazie ancora. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Luisa, I don't know why, but you were muted for a while. Can you go ahead in your, because one of the reasons why I invited you is not only your scholarly competences, but also that you live in an alpine valley. So there's a bit in common between Val Fiemme and Val Tartano. So I was also thinking about you find some similarities among the situation of this lateral valley or a bigger valley like Val di Fiemme. What's your anything you can add if you like?
Is that a question to me?
Yeah, in a way. Similarities between Val Tartano and Fiemme, your valley.
I'm sorry, but Zoom is canceling, is stopping to what I can't answer your question. I'm looking forward to come to Val Tartano, and I was also wondering where the name comes from, the name of the valley, and Val di Fiemme is quite similar in many ways, but we are different. We are the Dolomites, of course, so this is a difference, but Lagorai is very similar, so we have lakes. We don't have so many beaches, so this is possibly the most important attraction points. So it's quite correct to use it, to use the Ponte del Cielo to communicate, to promote the valley. It's important. And as you've seen, people is coming back or is off to be able to come back to walk and to climb and to whatever. So the most important thing to me is I'd like to be able to come soon and maybe to have you as guides to visit the valley. Maybe it will be possible, we don't know. So thank you again for everything.
Thank you for attending.
Thank
If there's anything else left, any question, any observation, I would like to conclude this meeting underlining that especially in the Alps, it's more frequent, more possible, but one of the new perspectives, new task in a way for tourism is going to come from local resilience, bottom up in a way. And this is the case of Val Tartano too in a way, because we think that the coronavirus crisis will be more easily manageable starting bottom up from local communities, especially when they are already congregated, than for, of course, airlines, hotels chains, which can be able to organize things, but not really to make alive people security on the spot. So I think we can also take this workshop as an opportunity to show that bottom-up initiatives are, or maybe, I think they will be the main condition for tourism to come back to its former glory. It's okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone, and I will go straight to visit your YouTube channel to see the videos that haven't been seen.
We will,
Bye-bye.
if you,
Thanks a lot.
if you give us the, I don't know in English, the benestare, we can publish the, yeah, we can publish the videos and make them public and not
Unlisted.
I think so, because I mean, videos are not mine. It's not me who have to give permissions. It's,
okay.
Since the quality absolutely more than acceptable, I think they could go public. Absolutely, it's up to you anyway.
Okay, in that way, the YouTube channel will be visible.